My stepdaughter said she wished my triplets were never born, so I cut off all her privileges. She looked me in the eyes, my 16-year-old stepdaughter, and said, "I wish your triplets had never been born." Not yelled, not in anger. Calm, cold, like she meant every single word. In that moment, something inside me snapped. And what I did next? I took everything from her. Phone, car, allowance, college fund access, door code changed. All of it. Gone. Overnight. Keep watching, because this gets so much darker.
Hey, story lover. Welcome to the Narrative Hub, Reddit Stories. Believe me, this adventure gets wild, but it's only epic with you. Seriously, you make this possible. Want more stories? Greater adventure? Smash subscribe right now. Smash like. Comment below. Let's go.
I need you to understand the silence that followed that sentence. It wasn't the kind of silence where you're waiting for a punchline. It was a vacuum. It sucked the air right out of the nursery. I was holding Leo, one of our 6-month-old triplets, rocking him back to sleep after a colic fit. Olivia, my stepdaughter, was leaning against the doorframe, sipping an iced coffee I had paid for, wearing headphones I had bought, looking at a phone on a plan I managed. She didn't blink. There was no teenage angst in her eyes, no heat, just a terrifying, glossy indifference. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. A strange, cold clarity washed over me. It was the feeling of a bridge burning down behind you, lighting up the path forward. I carefully placed Leo back in his crib, checked the monitors for the other two, Maya and Noah, and walked past her. "Excuse me," I said. "Whatever," Olivia Taylor muttered, turning up her volume. That was the last time she used those headphones. To understand why I went nuclear, you have to understand the pressure cooker we were living in. I'm Maria Lopez. My husband, Matthew Miller, and I had been trying for a baby for 5 years. When we got the news it was triplets, we were terrified but elated. Matthew brought Olivia into the marriage. Her mother isn't in the picture, a story for another time, so I have been the primary mother figure in her life since she was 7. We were close. Or so I thought. But when the triplets arrived, the dynamic shifted. Not just the usual sibling jealousy, it was something malignant. The day of the wish wasn't the first incident. It was just the moment the blindfold came off. 2 days prior, we were at the dinner table. It was Friday night. Plates were clattering. The babies were finally settled in their swings nearby. Matthew was laughing at something on the TV. Out of nowhere, Olivia smiled, a sharp, jagged expression, and dropped a bomb. Honestly, this family was better before those 3 existed. Matthew's fork stopped midair. He looked at her, confused. "Liv, don't say things like that. That's not funny." "I'm not joking," she shrugged, picking at her pasta. "They're loud, they smell, and they ruin everything. I just wish they'd disappear." Matthew brushed it off as teen drama. He told me later that night, "She's just adjusting, Maria. Give her space." I wanted to believe him, but then came the baby monitor incident. This is the part I haven't told anyone, not even Matthew yet, because I was scared of how it sounded. I was scared I was losing my mind. It was 3:17 a.m., the night before the nursery confrontation. I was in the kitchen, getting water, staring at the grainy video feed on the monitor. I saw a figure enter the triplets' room. It was Olivia. She wasn't helping. She wasn't checking on them. She stood over Maya's crib for a long, agonizing minute. Through the audio feed, I heard it. A whisper, crystal clear in the dead of night. "I pray every night that you just stop breathing." I froze. My blood ran cold. By the time I raced up the stairs, she was gone, back in her room, feigning sleep. I convinced myself I had hallucinated it. Sleep deprivation does crazy things to a new mother. I told myself she was just venting. But then she looked me in the eye in the nursery the next day and confirmed it. "I wish your triplets had never been born." That wasn't venting. That was a declaration of war against my children. So I went to war. I walked downstairs to Matthew's office. He was on a conference call. I didn't care. I wrote on a sticky note, "Emergency. Kitchen. Now." When he walked in, I was already piling things onto the island. "Maria, what is going on? I'm in a meeting with—" "Your daughter just told me she wishes our babies were dead," I said. My voice was steady, dangerously so. Matthew blinked. "What? No, she probably meant—" "She said she wished they were never born. And last night—" I took a breath. "Last night, I heard her praying for them to stop breathing." Matthew went pale. "Maria, that's a heavy accusation." "It's not an accusation, Matthew. It's a quote. And I am done. I am not raising 3 infants in a house with someone who actively harbors malice towards them. I am not funding the lifestyle of a person who wants my children erased. So what do you want to do? Ground her?" I laughed. It was a dry, humorless sound. "No. Grounding is for missing curfew. This requires a scorched earth approach. Lock, stock, and barrel." I didn't wait for Matthew's permission. I am the CFO of our household. I manage the accounts, the bills, the extras. Olivia's car? Leased in my name. Her phone plan? My account. The high-speed internet she uses for gaming? My bill. I walked into the living room, where she was lounging. "Phone," I said. I held out my hand. She looked up, annoyed. "What? No. I am canceling the line in 10 minutes. If you give it to me now, I won't wipe the data before I brick it. If you make me take it, you lose everything." She scoffed. "Dad?" she yelled. Matthew walked in, looking like a ghost. He looked at me, then at her. "Give her the phone, Liv." "You're kidding me? Because I said I didn't like the triplets? It's called freedom of speech. It's called hate speech in this house. Phone. Now." She threw it at the couch. I caught it. "Car keys," I said. "No way." She stood up. "I have soccer practice. I interrupted. "You have legs. The car is in my name. The insurance is in my name. You don't respect the person who provides the car. You don't drive the car. Keys." She looked at Matthew. He looked at the floor. "Do as she says, Liv." She screamed, a primal, rage-filled sound, and hurled the keys across the room. They hit the wall with a dent. "And one more thing," I said, walking to the router. "The Wi-Fi password is changing, the gaming PC goes into storage, and your allowance account is frozen indefinitely." "You can't do that," she shrieked. "That's my money." "It's money we give you. Privilege is earned. You just spent all your currency on cruelty." I spent the next hour stripping her life down to the essentials. No electronics, no vehicle, no access to the Amazon account. I changed the code to the front door so she couldn't sneak friends in. By sunset, her room was just a room. A bed, a desk, her clothes, and her school books. She sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the wall, stunned silence replacing her arrogance. But if I thought that was the end of it, I was naive. The backlash was just beginning. The next morning, my phone, which I hadn't disconnected, blew up. Barbara Gonzalez, Matthew's mother, was the first to attack. Olivia had evidently found a way to contact her, probably using a friend's phone at school or burner I hadn't found yet. "How dare you," the text read. "You are abusing that child. She is grieving her place in the family, and you strip her naked? I am coming over." Barbara has always been difficult. She never quite warmed up to me, always comparing me to Matthew's ex. But this was different. She saw an opening. She arrived at noon, banging on the door. When I opened it, she pushed past me. "Where is my granddaughter?" she demanded. "She's at school," I said calmly, "where she takes the bus now." "You made her take the bus?" Barbara gasped, clutching her pearls metaphorically. "She has a Mercedes in the driveway." "A Mercedes I pay for," I reminded her. "Barbara, she wished death on your grandchildren. Are you telling me you support that?" "She is a child. She is venting. You are the adult, Maria. You're supposed to be the bigger person. Instead, you act like a dictator. I am taking her to live with me." "Fine," I said. That stopped her. What? I take her, I said. If you think her behavior is acceptable, you take her. But know this, if she steps out of this house, the college fund, which I contribute 70% to, stops growing. The health insurance remains, but the extras, the study abroad program she wants, that's on you. Barbara's eyes narrowed. She knew she couldn't afford Olivia's lifestyle. She wanted me to fund it while she got to play the hero grandma. You are a monster, she hissed. No, I said, opening the door for her to leave. I'm a mother, protecting 3 defenseless babies from a predator living down the hall. Goodbye, Barbara. When Matthew came home that night, the tension was thick enough to choke on. He was quiet. Too quiet. My mom called me, he said finally, staring into his dinner. I assumed she would. She says you're being abusive, Maria. She used the word financial abuse. I dropped my fork. Financial abuse? Matthew, look at me. Your daughter looked at our infants, your sons and daughter, and wished them out of existence. She prayed for them to stop breathing. Do you understand that if something happens to them, she is the first suspect? Do you understand I can't sleep because I'm terrified she's going to put a pillow over their faces? Matthew put his head in his hands. She's just a kid, Maria. She wouldn't actually hurt them. How do you know? I slammed my hand on the table. How do you know? Because 2 days ago you didn't think she was capable of saying it. Now we know she is. I am not waiting for a tragedy to prove me right. I have drawn a line in the sand. You are either standing with me and your triplets, or you are standing with the person who wants them gone. It was the ultimatum moment. The air in the kitchen crackled. For 3 days, the house was a silent war zone. Olivia was a ghost. She came home, went to her room, and refused to speak to us. She ate peanut butter sandwiches because she refused to eat the dinner I cooked. I thought I had won. I thought the shock of the consequences had silenced her. I was wrong. It was Thursday. I was doing laundry. I went into Olivia's room to grab her hamper. I was still doing her laundry, believe it or not. I wasn't a monster. I moved a pile of hoodies on her floor and saw it. A notebook. Open. I shouldn't have looked, I know that, but the drawing on the page caught my eye. It was violent, angry black scribbles, and in the center, a list. Plan A, the wish. Plan B, the noise. Plan C, the solution. My heart hammered against my ribs. The noise? I remembered the last few weeks. The triplets had been waking up screaming at odd hours. We thought it was colic. We thought it was teething. I ran to the nursery. I started tearing it apart. I checked under the cribs. I checked the changing table. And then I found it. Taped to the back of the white noise machine, hidden from view, was a small Bluetooth speaker. I pulled it off, my hands shaking. I turned it on. It was synced to a device named Liv's Backup. I went to my phone and connected to it. I hit play on the last track used. It wasn't music. It was a high-frequency sound, like a dog whistle, but oscillating, screeching, painful. She had been playing this at night to wake them up, to make them scream, to make us suffer. This wasn't teenage angst. This was psychological warfare. She was torturing her siblings to punish us. I felt sick, physically sick. I sank to the floor, clutching the speaker, tears streaming down my face. She wasn't just wishing them away. She was actively tormenting them. I heard the front door open. Olivia was home from school. I met her in the hallway. I held up the speaker. The color drained from her face faster than I've ever seen. She dropped her backpack. Maria, Don't, I whispered. Don't you dare speak. Matthew walked in behind her, sensing the energy. What happened? Show him, I said to Olivia. Tell your father what you've been doing to his children. She stayed silent, trembling. She taped a speaker to their white noise machine. She's been blasting high-frequency noise at them to make them scream, to keep us awake, to make them suffer. Matthew looked at the small black device in my hand. He looked at Olivia. Is that true? It was just a prank, Olivia yelled, tears finally spilling over. I just wanted you guys to see how annoying it is. You ignore me. You ignore everything about me since they came. I just wanted you to be miserable too." "You hurt babies," Matthew said. His voice broke. "Olivia, you hurt babies." "I hate them," she screamed, the mask fully off now. "I hate them. I wish they were never born. I wish you never married her. I want my life back." She turned to run up the stairs, but Matthew caught her arm. "No," he said. He was crying, but his grip was iron. "You are not going to your room." "Get off me!" "Maria was right," Matthew said, looking at me with a shattered expression. "She was right. About everything." He looked at Olivia. "Pack a bag." "What?" "Pack a bag. You aren't sleeping under the same roof as those children tonight. I'm taking you to your grandmother's." "You can't kick me out." "I'm not kicking you out," Matthew said, his voice dropping to a terrifying calm. "I am removing a threat from my home. We will figure out therapy. We will figure out boarding school. We will figure out whatever comes next. But tonight, you are gone." That was 3 weeks ago. The house is quiet now. The triplets are sleeping better. The high-frequency torture is gone. Olivia is living with Barbara. We're paying for it, barely. We're also paying for intensive psychiatric therapy. The therapist says Olivia has displacement aggression and narcissistic tendencies. Fancy words for she wanted to be the center of the universe and tried to destroy the competition. My relationship with Matthew is healing, but the scar's there. He mourns the daughter he thought he had. I mourn the family I thought we were building. Some people in our circle think I'm a hero for protecting my kids. Others, like Barbara and some of Matthew's cousins, think I'm the evil stepmother who exiled the princess. I don't care. I look at the baby monitor tonight. It's 3 a.m. The room is peaceful. No whispers, no hidden speakers, just the soft rise and fall of 3 little chests. I cut off her privileges. I cut off her access. I cut off her presence. And as I watch my baby sleep safely for the first time in months, I know one thing for certain. I would do it all again. Lock, stock, and barrel. Because when you threaten my children, you don't get a warning. You get an eviction.